Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And we are now joined by Miriam Belov, and she's here with us to talk about the Wellness Agenda, which of course is her company based out of beautiful South Orange, New Jersey. Welcome, Miriam, to the show today. How are you?
Oh, I'm really great. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. Really excited. And the sun is out. It's a beautiful day.
I'm out on Long Island, so New York, New Jersey, similar weather patterns for sure. Yeah. And we got to be thankful for that.
Yes.
Introduce yourself to our viewers and our listeners today.
Okay. Well, I have been involved in the wellness field for over 40 years.
Wow.
In fact, I'm a pioneering expert in the field of wellness, specializing in mind, body, spirit work. Okay. And starting this, as I said, so many decades ago, I'm now really a global visionary because I've traveled around the globe a lot, studying and working and experiencing various modalities and helping us heal, de-stress, and be our best.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm on the website and I urge everyone to do the same, wellnessagenda.com. You say using your mind, body, spirit tools, you experience health, peace, and success here and now. So you're here to help our viewers and our listeners today with some effective meditation techniques, right? And
yes,
among some other modalities. So would you mind, if you don't mind, telling us a little bit about those modalities that you can offer to our listeners and viewers today?
Absolutely. Well, as I said, I've been studying this for such a long time, but I found that many people, especially in New York City in the 90s and 1980s and 90s, were very aware of the word Reiki. And that became a real buzzword in the healing community.
Yep.
And so rather than having to explain all of my psychic work and healing work, I became a Reiki master teacher.
Okay.
And everybody understood that buzzword. So Reiki is a Japanese word meaning universal life energy. And it really makes a great deal of sense. So when people become stressed, ill, upset, our energy levels obviously go down. And so with Reiki, I am able then to sort of puff up, push up, expand your energy levels.
Increase that vibrations. Is that what it is as well?
Excuse me?
Increase the vibration?
Yes, it definitely can. Yes, yes. It helps to really higher the vibrations, make them higher so that people can be more calm. When our vibrations are low and uptight and like this, yeah. We can't think straight. But when we can relax, detach, get an extra infusion of energy, then we can relax, we can think clearly, and we can be even healed. I've been doing work from meditation to relaxation to deep healing work with people, especially now as we're still reeling from COVID-19.
Yeah.
And everybody, the whole planet has been affected by this. And this plague has really, killed millions of people. And I hope that no one who is watching knows anyone who has sadly died. But many people have. And so I've been able to help people, not in person. I've been doing this either on
virtual?
FaceTime or WhatsApp.
Okay.
To either balance our immune systems through this energy work, or even if you have COVID, to try and lessen the effects. And I've also been working with some long haulers, people who've gotten through their COVID illness, but still sadly have a lot of ramifications from that. Because what's really wonderful about Reiki is we can do this long distance. I don't really have to be in the room with you. Of course, I have a wellness studio that I've seen people in with a massage table where I put my hands on people fully clothed and channel in this energy.
Wow.
But been able to do it quite effectively. I'm very grateful. Of course, long distance.
Well, Miriam, so at the age of 4, I read that you started having dreams. You were clairvoyant. Can you explain to me? So this is not just, and not to say anyone could do Reiki, but I know people can be offered, you can learn, but not everybody has the intuitive clairvoyant ability, which you also have, which is a definite plus. Can you explain
Well,
that?
I was really lucky. Let me just go back and say what's so wonderful about Reiki is that anyone can learn it. And once you are in tuned, or so to speak, initiated into various degrees of Reiki, which I, as a teacher, master teacher, can do, you also can do these healings on yourself, on your loved
Wow,
ones, or long distance.
amazing.
But when I was very little, I was clairvoyant. I was psychic. My grandmother, I was very, very close to my maternal grandmother. And she supported me very much, of course, emotionally
There, can
in
you hear?
developing. Oh, yeah.
I'm on the website.
Shirley, that's Shirley.
Oh,
Thank you, Jill. That was a surprise. But yeah, that Shirley was a very brave woman. She fled the Ukraine with her husband. They were about in their early 20s to come to America in the 1920s. And she left everything, a beautiful, very luxurious life, but felt it was no longer safe to be there. And when she came finally to America with her husband and her little daughter, my mom, she started all over again. And so her courage and bravery really impacted me as a little kid. And I realized that in my mid-20s, that pattern resonated for me tremendously because I was able to leave. I went to Brown University for a dual degree, a master's degree, but I just was compelled to want to explore various ways of healing, of meditation, and sort of be up close. So I traveled across America to Europe, England a lot, the Middle East, and eventually to India, where I have gone back several times because that's really the mothership of meditation. And so I've learned many skills and techniques there, which I'm very grateful for, so that I've been able to bring them back and help people and incorporate them, of course, in my Reiki work also. But yes, I was fortunate. My own orientation towards psychic work and energy work, I had. And having then being initiated into Reiki just supported those orientations. But I really want to stress, and this is one thing that's magical about Reiki, is that anyone can learn it and do it, which is so necessary right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we talk about the modality of Reiki and the types of things you could use your energy healing to help people with? I mean, we're talking stress, anxiety, pain, and I've also heard chronic disease. I mean, I know we can't use the word cured but I've heard
Right.
where people say my cancer was cured from Reiki, from energy healing. So can you explain some of the type of people that are watching and maybe they could take benefit from you?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. Again, as I had said earlier, when we get ill, and let's say cancer is one of those sub-plagues that we're experiencing in our culture. COVID's the big one, but cancer, of course, is horrible, and we're seeing it rampant around the planet and in America too, for a variety of reasons. But so the energy is completely compressed. The cells have become inflamed, are sort of turning on one another. And so with the Reiki, with extra energy sort of pumped into the body, again, these cells can sort of breathe and relax a bit more and allow some healing energy to come in. And in fact, if you looked at one of the testimonials I sent over, I was indeed working on a cancer patient who was in a great deal of pain from all of the therapies and radiations he was going through. And in fact, we were at a very fancy party, but he was in so much pain. I went over and I did Reiki on him, and he became very relaxed and out of pain. And I was very, very grateful. So Reiki can help, again, or any healing modality that reverberates for you. But since we're speaking about Reiki so much during this session, these healing modalities help to, again, expand the body, expand the whole auric field, the energy field around the body, the various chakra centers that we have in our bodies that can absorb and put energy where it needs to go. And so various spiritual disciplines have this wonderful healing gift. It's just that Reiki reverberated very deeply for me for a variety of reasons. And let me share with that, we were talking a little earlier about meditation. I discovered after all these years of studying it, that there were three aspects to meditation, especially for the Western 21st century person, which we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where that is relaxing the body, concentrating the mind, and then rejuvenating the spirit, integrating the mind-body continuum. And one easy way to do that, or one easy and basic way, is through our breath. I like to teach breakthrough breathing, which helps us breathe correctly and deeply into the body. I also talk a lot about cellular consciousness, or the awareness of the very cells of our bodies. Yeah, because that's what makes us up. Yeah. And then, of course, integrating all of that and getting in touch with our spirit. I'm pointing to my heart space, to allow us to really express the best and the truest person that we are in this lifetime. That's just crucial, especially right now. So one thing that reverberated for me with the Reiki was that there are symbols, drawings that you concentrate on. And I love that. I found that easier even than a word, be it in Latin or Greek or Hebrew or Sanskrit or English. I just loved concentrating on these symbols. So that was one reason also that I really love Reiki.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing. And the fact that the modern world, right, is a lot more accepting of it now. My mom was sick with cancer many years ago, 4 years ago, Sloan Kettering, it's on their website. It's a modality that the medical community is embracing finally. It's great that you're working together, right, now,
Yes.
and it is recognized and it's prominent and it's helpful, clearly statistics, and there's so many examples of it working. So let me ask you this. Now, you do all your work virtual, so individual sessions, how long do they take?
Well, usually I do it about an hour.
Okay.
And, in fact, I was working with some people recently in India because of this intense outbreak, second wave outbreak of COVID there. And it was very effective. Again, quite a distance, far away, but the long distance really worked very well. So I try and keep it to about an hour. If someone is in the middle of something and we're really deep in it, then of course, we'll go longer. But that's usually what I tell a client. We're going to do about an hour. And I like to tell people also that a few moments before the session, they should try and de-stress a little bit for themselves. We go through a whole de-stressing, of course, and decluttering the mind during the session. But it's good to take a few moments before just to center yourself as best you can. Then afterwards, I really sort of insist, like a very strict teacher, that you really need to give yourself a good 15 minutes afterwards before you go rushing off to your next big meeting on Zoom or picking up the kids. Why? Because we have spent an intense hour bringing in energy right here and now. And your body and your mind need to absorb it. And if you start to go mental and running around in your head or physically, about what you're going to do next, then it sort of dissipates. And a lot of that, it's a shame. You want to be able to get the most out of the situation for yourself. So I like to do that. To go back to what you said, Jill, when I started doing this in the late 60s, I was deeply discriminated against. People said, oh, this isn't real. Why are you doing this? Where's the study? I don't know. My doctor thinks this is weird. And of course, I persevered because that's just who I am. And I had to, it was my passion. And now, of course, as you said earlier, it's all over and it's wonderful. I work with several physicians and who are obviously open and very progressive, but I shouldn't even say progressive. You don't have to be progressive anymore. When I started out, it was considered alternative, a little weird. But now it's called, I like to call it complementary. Go see your physician. Absolutely. Take the medicine she's telling you to take. If you've got cancer, go through all those protocols and ask me to come and help you and support you in a whole energetic way that might bring some peace to you and some insight to why possibly you are going through this cancer, shall we say. And I've been doing that recently a lot, obviously, with people who've had or caught COVID. And what all of this is meaning to all of us right now in terms of COVID. And the deep need that the past year has brought for us to really explore what are we doing with our lives? Why are we doing this? Who do we love to be around? I mean, it was so sad to see all these older, not older necessarily, but people in hospitals dying without being able to be with their loved ones, touching and holding. So this year has brought all of us a great, it's a strange thing to say, but a great opportunity to explore what we're doing right here and now in this life.
Yeah. So did you have a sense of what was going to happen last year? Like, did you get an intuition about something not being right? Did you get any messages or signs?
Oh, I love this question, and we didn't even plan this, but I will tell you that. So I'm really oriented a great deal towards the climate crisis and ecotherapy. That's nature helping us humans as we help nature. And I personally always felt that the climate crisis, which we're seeing everywhere, in fact, just this past week, a huge part of an iceberg fell off, I believe the size of Rhode Island. Scientists said not to panic, but who knows? Because once the seas start to really rise, then there's sort of no going back. But in any case, I always felt that the climate crisis would be a signal to us humans to sort of step back, think about what's going on, what we're doing with ourselves and to the planet and lifestyle and all of that, which we hear a great deal about. From my point of view, it clearly wasn't enough. The universe, if we think of the divine, whatever the divine element, being is to you in your spiritual path or your religious upbringing, whatever, clearly, though, the divine was feeling this wasn't enough. And sadly, however this COVID-19 plague actually developed and spread is at this point doesn't matter, but it spread around the planet, global. And again, we were able, though, to see the upside was we were able to see what happens if we as humans don't go flying around the planet using our cars, running here and there. There were so many happy studies about how animals were coming back. The dolphins were swimming closer to the beaches. Swans were in the canals of Venice, that's a good thing. And it has really brought, I think, the world more closely together and recognizing that we as a planet, as a small, fragile little blue and green planet, can work together to deal with overwhelming issues, be they the climate change, be they societal, all of the movements that we saw, Black Lives Matters, political hysteria and chaos all over the planet. We need to start to seriously think about what will a post-COVID life be like. It's not going to be the same as it was before, and it shouldn't be, needs to change. And I think, sadly, we needed a little kick as a species.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's sad. But I think that was possibly one reason that we needed this. I would have prayed and hoped, and I had prayed that this wasn't going to have to happen. I was in India at the time on retreat. I had just finished a global peace event in South India. And my sister, who lives in New York State, knew I was coming back at the beginning of March. This is March 2020. And, everything had exploded by then. COVID was definitely here. And I could feel her concern and panic, and it certainly was a real mind shock, I'll say, to come back from having had a very idyllic 3 weeks in South India in the tropics with friends and having done this amazing global peace meditation, to come back to find my immediate family, husband, 22-year-old daughter, very, very concerned, and the whole country, of course. So that motivated me also. And I have a series of 3 meditations on my YouTube channel that people can go to learn how to simply meditate or relax according to nature's rhythms, in the sense of the spring equinox and the summer solstice, the autumn equinox that just occurred, and then the winter solstice in December. I did one for the spring. Those are one of the tools that I offered to help people cope with the situation now.
Got it. Well, thank you. And we're almost out of time here. We have 6 more minutes. I just want to make sure we're getting to everything that's important to you. What else do you want our listeners to know about you? And what are the best forms of contact, which we haven't brought up yet? The website for you is?
wellnessagenda.com.
Good.
And you can also email me at Miriam at wellnessagenda.com. That's WELLNESSAGENDA.com. I offer Reiki sessions. I do a lot of media work. I've done a lot of corporate work.
Yeah, I saw that. You do a lot of corporate stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, U.S. government, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I was Estee Lauder's wellness expert, talking about outer beauty and inner beauty with meditation. And then I also have created several tools that people can use. They're all on my gift shop page on wellnessagenda.com. But briefly, there's a 20-minute meditation called Embracing Earth, which I love. Deals with the climate crisis. Meditation, though, we're not going into a down situation. We're sort of uplifting, So with original music, and that's wonderful. Then I have a 30-minute digital download called Relax, Feel Great, which it's a distillation of a lot of my work, been used by everybody from librarians to executives to diplomats. I have a book there, Pathways to Well-Being. And then I have my signature program, really, called Creative Concentration. And I'll be rolling out a new version called Workshop 7 in a few weeks, which will talk also about meditation, breakthrough breathing, cellular consciousness, empowered intuition, which we all have and can get in touch with. Those are sort of the main things that I offer. You asked a question, and I wanted just to mention that you asked if I had mentored or had been mentored, or if I do mentor people. Yeah. And I just want to touch on that. When I started this, there weren't any mentors. Who mentored me more than anything was my grandmother, Shirley.
Yeah.
And then over the decades, of course, I have mentored hundreds of people. And then I came to realize recently that all of my Reiki and self-healing and self-care that I've given to others, I've done myself. And so I want to share, because I'm sort of on a mission. I'm 74 years old. And I realize that all of this work helps us to rejuvenate ourselves over and over again. I'm often called your keep calm mentor, which is a sweet phrase, but people who know me and love me call me the boomer babe, because, I'm 74, I'm active, I give, I love people.
Sweetheart, and not at all. That came as a shock.
Well, thank you, doll.
Wow.
But, for a long time, I didn't talk about that. I was like, oh, I don't want to. It's not important. But now there's so much disruption going on everywhere. I said to myself, and my 22-year-old daughter said, go for it, Mom.
Yeah.
In the sense that huge amount of sexism going on and ageism going on, besides all the other racism and all the other things that we're seeing. But for who I am, I can step out and tell people that if you take care of yourselves, if you do what you believe is good for you without hurting other people, but spend time in quiet, in stillness, and listening to yourself, because, we need to learn to trust ourselves, trust yourself, listen to your spirit, and allow it to illuminate your unique path. Because there's just one of you. There's just one of Jill. There's just one of Miriam. And there's just one of each of you who is listening to step out. And this is the time to step out, to be of service, to help any way. It can be a small thing, and it can be a huge thing.
Yeah.
But we all need to sort of do our bit at this time. It's clearly happening.
Well, at this time, could you tell our viewers and listeners how to get in touch with you one more time, please?
Thank you. So my website is wellnessagenda.com, and my email is miriam@wellnessagenda.com. And on my homepage, you'll see lots of things that you can then, link to, explore. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. I have at least a monthly blog that I send out that gives lots of information, often with meditations in the blog, because I just love helping. That's why I'm here.
Well, it's exciting to finally get to know you. Thank you for doing what you do. And again, for our listeners and viewers out there who want to get in touch with you, one more time, tell us the website.
Okay, it's Wellness Agenda, WELLNESSAGENDA.com, Wellness Agenda.
And you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, right?
Oh yeah, that whole thing. Yes, I do all of that. And most of it's under Miriam Belov, so you can see everything. I just posted today. There was lots going on, and it was really nice that I just posted today. And if you go to my website, you'll see it. So, excuse me, if you go to my Facebook or my Instagram, you'll see it.
Yep, I saw it was the flower post.
Yes, well, I love flowers.
I saw that one. All right, well, you have a great day. Again, Miriam, it's a pleasure getting to know you, and I hope our listeners reach out, wellnessagenda.com, and we're looking forward to our next time we speak again, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. And everyone else, stay tuned. More of the show is coming right up after the break. Please don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.